Sorry about this.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to First Time Dads, Diehard fans. I'm your host, Tim Bear, alongside my co-host, Nick Prosey. Nick, how are you doing?
I'm good. You, Timmy?
Doing well.
Awesome.
I heard you had a pretty eventful evening so far.
Man, we're up in Elliott Lake, which is just, an hour east of Sault Ste. Marie for the weekend. We were up visiting Becca's aunt and uncle, and we left at 6:30 this morning. 6:30 this morning we took off to drive back home today. So 7-hour drive, 8-hour drive, whatever. We booted around and get home to a chipmunk stuck in the dryer vent.
Wow.
So, yeah, our dryer's in the basement. So it popped itself in from the dryer latch, I guess, a hatch from outside, and fell down into the basement, into the dryer, but stuck in the vent. And he was trying to climb the vent going up. And yeah, so then I popped the vent off to get him, and then I chased him around the house for 3.5 hours, 4 hours, I would say.
That's wild. So I'm not sure if we can hear you all that well with the recording. So, but just so the listeners got that, Nick was talking about a chipmunk that was stuck in his vent, and he was chasing it for a while, and then you sent me a picture. The chipmunk has seen better days.
It was pretty gruesome. That was unfortunately. Yeah, it was a 3-4 hour chase of a chipmunk that unfortunately I could not catch. So me and the dog got involved, unfortunately.
Okay. So your dog got to it?
No, my dog helped. I ended up getting it before the dog did. I didn't want Finley to eat it. That's what I was afraid of. I was trying to keep the dog away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not the afternoon I was looking for. I'm supposed to be playing golf right now. Or during the afternoon I was supposed to.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, that's quite
crazy stuff. Yes, it was.
Yeah, we've never had a chipmunk incident. We have had mice before, but nope, never a chipmunk.
This chipmunk though, which is pretty funny, I cornered it under a bookshelf. I set a mouse trap. Mean, I know. I'm sorry everyone. It is mean, but I didn't want him to eat the wires. But I put the mouse trap with peanut butters, and he got onto the mouse trap and just picked, you know how chipmunks do it. They picked away with their hand to their mouth, and they fed themselves the peanut butter right off the trap without setting it off. It was almost like he was tormenting me.
Yeah, he's a crafty guy, I guess.
He was crafty. The only thing I guess he got pushed down this vent because he was a smart little fellow.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a wild day. So the joys of home ownership, huh?
Right. That's my first chipmunk and ideally my last one. We're going to go buy a screen for the vent on outside, so the gate might come up when the air pushes out, but I'm going to have like a little netted screen so it can't climb into the gate. If the wind's getting at it, he can't go in, or that he or she can't go in.
Yeah.
They'll keep the chippies out.
Yeah, good. Yeah, my parents have had issues with bats getting into the house. There was one story. There was a bat, flying around in our living room, and my dad, I think, had to take a frying pan or something and hit it off the curtain. He felt pretty bad about that.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's not much you can do.
So, but it was funny. Beck and I so Becca's 6 months pregnant, and I'm the one running around scared of this little chipmunk. I'm jumping up on the paint cans. It was pretty. It was a funny scene. It would have been something you would have saw on a comedy show. That's for sure.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I know. I can't talk because I had a similar experience when we had a mouse in our living room, and I didn't want to touch the ground, and I was just trying to corner it, and I didn't want to get close to it.
No, crazy. They're the smallest animals. They're probably petrified of us, but for some reason, I won't go near it. Like I got it, eventually got it, but he took up my golf game. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So we can't currently see you. Do you at the bottom left? Do you see a little video icon?
Yeah, I do, and I've clicked on it, but for some reason it won't work. I'm loading up my laptop as we speak, but that's okay. It'll be there soon.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's cool. So you mentioned golf. So our friend Jared, who's normally joining us, let me know that he was golfing this afternoon and evening. So he wasn't able to make it, but he messaged us and said that he was shooting a 34 on the back nine with one hole to go.
Right.
So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's odd. I mean, he didn't say what his front half score was, or the front nine.
No, that's right.
So
all we know, it could have been 64, but who knows?
Right. Which is normally how it goes anyway for me. Once usually the first nine, you get all your bad shots out of the way.
Yeah, that's right.
But I mean that's an awesome back nine anyway score. So
I don't think I've ever that. Usually, most courses are 36, 37 is par. So he was looking to be under par, depending on the course size.
Right.
Which is pretty freaking cool.
Yes, that is, and you guys are making me feel jealous with all this golf talk. I haven't been out in years.
No, because you also got you and Ethan are bonding. Well, he's got Jared's got the 9-month-old, and you've got 2 months. 2 months now, or a month?
1 month.
1 month.
Yeah, he's 1 month old at this time. And just before we go any further, I just wanted to do a special announcement. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can now find our podcast. And there's Nick. Hey, what's up?
Hey, not much, Timmy. There we go, working.
All right.
That's
so now you can see both of us if you're watching on YouTube. But I also did want to let you guys know about you can find our podcast on your favorite podcast app now. So whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Stitcher, Podbean, TuneIn. Yeah, we're on all those, and we'll be on Google Podcasts soon, and hopefully a few others. So yeah, so now, I mean, I know you guys love seeing our beautiful faces on the YouTube, but if you're driving or working out or whatever, and you're not able to watch us, you can now listen to us on your favorite podcast app. So it's exciting. Makes
live. You can hear us.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Timmy.
Yeah, like it feels like we finally made it. I mean, we obviously just got started, but like when you see yourself on Apple Podcasts, it's like, whoa! It's actually such an easy thing to do. Really easy process to do, but it is cool just seeing you on a legitimate app like that. So Nick. So how's Becca? How's the little one? Got any updates for us?
Yeah. Nothing crazy. Lots of kicking. Lots of kicking. A lot of punching. He's a motorer. If there ever was a boxer, Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali better watch out. This guy's swinging. I've now, I think I said this last week, but I'll say it again. I've definitely seen him live. So I guess Beck's laying down and you can see the belly. You can see the little fist come up and come back down, and it's pretty cool.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like when she's hungry, it's more. When she's hungry herself, there's a lot of kicking and a lot of punching going on.
Okay, yeah.
But other than that, it's 6 months. It will be 7 months in 2 weeks, so 6.5 months, and we're in the home stretch here.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Couple months left.
Yeah. Now we just bought our stroller.
Okay.
Stroller. Yeah. The nursery. We're gonna do the nursery this week. Like paint it and decorate it. Like it's the crib. The crib's up. The change table's up. The dresser's up. The stroller should be coming. It's been ordered from Walmart. So now we're getting there. Lots. It's funny. You probably noticed this. It's funny how many people have hand-me-down clothes for you. Here's this. Here's that. He'll grow into this. It's fantastic. It's community based and it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. That's that's a huge blessing to have those people who are willing to part with that stuff. And the thing about Ethan is he basically grew out all of his newborn stuff after like a couple weeks. He's been like, it's just unreal how quickly he's growing. We went to the pediatrician the other day, and he's gained 30 ounces in 2 weeks, which is more than twice as much as normal.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's a chunky monkey.
Wow. Chunky monkey. There you go. The Michelin Man.
Yeah, he actually does look like him, man, with his rolls on his arms and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, he's super cute. But yeah, I mean, in a way, it's good to know that he's that the breastfeeding is working.
Yep.
He's been feeding a lot, but it's good to know that it's doing its work. He's healthy.
Now,
so
this might be a question maybe for Laura, I guess, but now, and I've read in the books, and even my sisters even mentioned this to us. My sister, I have two nieces from my sister, and then a niece and a nephew with my sister, and a niece and a nephew with my brother.
Yeah.
But they were saying if you're doing breastfeeding and everything, I guess, did Laura have trouble like getting all that going, or was it just was it just a natural thing to get the baby to breastfeed, or is that a process alone? I heard that's tough, but a book I was reading now says that. But
yeah, it's definitely a process. It's tough. Like she still has issues with it. I mean, it's better than it was.
Right.
Yeah, especially early on. It's tough because basically both the mom and the child both have to learn how to do it. So you really have to teach the child, how to get a proper latch. And hopefully, someone at the hospital will be there to teach you. Right, because
I guess you're leaving before you leave the hospital, especially you guys are 36 hours. I guess you're gonna have to. The baby's gonna have to eat within those 36 hours. So.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we had a couple of lactation experts, and they said basically we want to make sure that you're able to get them fed. That you're able to do it properly before we release you.
Sure. Which makes total sense.
Yeah, so it's something you definitely need to learn, something she'll need to work at. It's probably going to be pretty frustrating at the start. I know it has been for Laura with just trying to get that down. But it's a process, and even when it feels like it's really tough, it's kind of good to hear, when your baby's doing well and your baby's healthy and is feeding well and gaining good weight. Those are all encouraging things.
Yep. Oh yeah, 32 ounces in a couple of weeks is
30 ounces, yeah.
30 ounces, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, what did you find? What so far, or the month, I guess. So far, Ethan being a month years old. There you go, Nick. That's good language there for you. They Laura's obviously has to do the feeding, waking up, and usually you could say he's hungry. But what's the biggest thing you've had to adjust? I guess, like, are you waking up every time throughout the night with Laura? Like, just automatically, or just one person gets up?
For the most part, I'm also waking up, because the baby's crying, the baby's, screaming. It's, it's loud. So you're probably going to wake up with the baby and with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, one issue we found is that, he doesn't always want to, and most of the time, actually, he doesn't want to go in his crib.
Right.
It's really kind of tough to get him in the crib and to get him sleeping in the crib. So sometimes in the middle of the night, he just wants to be, close, so yeah, that can be a challenge because it's not something where he'll feed and then you just put him in the crib and just let him be for the rest of the night. But you have to stay with him. And if you're with him, you can't fall asleep.
No,
you don't know what's happening if you fall asleep.
No, and that's the biggest.
Happen.
And that's another thing people said, and that's why I asked, just because I'd heard, even though he clearly needs mom, dad or partner, doesn't have to be dad, it can be partners, come together just to keep mom awake, like it's or to keep talking with mom and do it as a team, right? So
just any way that you can do it. Sometimes I'll take him and I'll just let Laura sleep for a bit, or as long as I can until we have to feed again. And I'll just go in there in the family room, and if I'm like really tired and really struggling, stay awake. I'll watch some sports or something, watch some soccer. And that'll usually Korean baseball, at 4 a.m. or whatever. I feel like if you're watching something, it's a little easier to stay awake.
Sure, a little more easy to focus.
Like reading, So that's a little something I've found out can be good, but it's pretty tough. Like last night was a tough night. Laura had maybe 2 hours of sleep last night. Yeah, I had more than that, but not much more. So there's some tough nights for sure.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I was just my biggest thing. I can sleep. Someone could jump in. Someone could come through my house, be a burglar, and I'd still be snoring away. So I've got it in this next couple of months. I got to start training myself to pick up on small sounds. I should because the nursery's one room over from us, so it's the next room. I should put like a crying baby in it, just like an automatic thing. Every 2 hours, set it off. Just start training my body.
Yeah.
Like a marathon runner, start running. You run every 10, 5, 10, 10K, 10, 5K, 20K, 36K, so on. I'll start doing every hour, every half hour. Yeah, there we go. That I'm gonna do that. That's just bugging listeners, but yes. Don't do it.
Yeah, that's funny. So I feel like there's something I was gonna ask you, but I can't remember what I was gonna ask you. What were we talking about? About
sleep and babies, nurseries, nursing.
Anyway, that's all right. It'll probably come to me at some point. What's that?
I was gonna say it's the lack of sleep right there.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. Wouldn't doubt it. So I wanted to talk about something that that doesn't really affect us at this stage with our children. But one thing that is affecting a lot of parents nowadays is the question about schools and whether schools are going to be open in the fall. There's a lot of big news coming out from the States anyway, with, you know, President Trump, you know, saying, you know, schools need to be open in the fall. And I think it's the U.S. Pediatric Academy or something, Academy of Pediatric Workers or something, said that, you know, that schools should be open in the fall, just because of all the, you know, how difficult it is for children to do online learning, and just the many issues that come with that, especially, you know, with some households where they're just not equipped to have, you know, children there all the time. You know, if you think, you know, parents need to work, you know, what are they going to do with childcare? You know, it's just a mess. So, I mean, how are things looking in Canada, you know, where you're at, as far as what's been the talk about schools and stuff?
Well, I heard, so my sister's a teacher, and I didn't hear directly from her, but I've heard they were talking about it the other day, and I guess it's every other day. There's talk of kids going every other day. So I think it's like to split the classes in half. I would assume that's what that would represent, but it would say like Jimmy, George, Bob, half the class comes this day, the other half goes the other day, and they go every other day, and they're sent home with homework in between, which I'm assuming that's what they would do, or maybe they have online classes on the days that don't go into school. But that's one way to do it. And then you got to think the buses. How many kids are stuffed on a bus? Right. That go over your gathering groups, right? Like we're only still gathered 10 gatherings of 10. But you're right. If I was a kid in school nowadays, I would not be able to succeed as well doing online courses. Right. As you see with my video skills here. Right. Yeah. It's hard enough for us to figure out the Zoom stuff, and for children, you know, it's definitely not easy. But you know, there was, I think the state of Florida, you know, said that they were going to open schools starting in like the middle of August. I heard. Yeah, did you hear about that? And then and then Florida just had 15,000 new cases. I think either today or yesterday. Today, which is the single highest total for any state. Anywhere. Yeah. Like any province, any state, any North American or Europe. Like that is just bonkers. Yeah. So and then we'll get into that, because there's a lot related. There's some sports stuff that's happening in Florida right now. Yep. Or not happening. More of that is or not happening. Yeah. So we'll discuss that in a bit. But yeah, and then it's just really, because it's such a localized thing. You know, like I'm in Maryland, and we've been doing pretty well with it. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, without a vaccine, it's like, you know, you just feel like it's just a matter of time before we get another spike. That's right. Like you can't trust it. Like we went to the grocery store yesterday, and I still, like, masks are now mandatory in public here. Right. And like I think each district or each county where we live is implementing masks must be worn, but the province is not doing it. Like the province of Ontario says it's recommended, but it's not mandatory. But Northumberland Township, the township I live in, has said you have to wear masks. Yeah. When we were up in Sudbury and Sault Ste. Marie, they also said you have to wear masks to go into Canadian Tire, No Frills, Walmart. So it's funny that the province and the federal government and the provincial government have not said you have to wear it, but the townships and like the communities have taken upon themselves to make masks mandatory, which I'm okay with it because I'm still eerie about it all.
Yeah, about like masks or
no, get COVID about getting COVID-19,
okay.
yeah, and
yeah.
back. I mean, and our you having a little one and us expecting in a couple months, it's not something I want to risk.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like it's Laura has some friends who they're kind of flippant about the whole thing. They're kind of like it's just something made up by the media,
right,
that kind of thing. Like you find a lot of and I hate to throw people under the bus or whatever. I guess I'm not naming names here, but yeah, I mean, here in the States, you find a lot of people who are very wary of government and the media, and they just think that everything is a lie and part of some liberal, plan to, take away their rights, basically.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's something totally foreign to me as someone who grew up in Canada. It just isn't a thing.
That's right.
Or trust in government. So it's tough when you have people on one side being like, oh, whatever, coronavirus isn't a thing, whatever. I'm gonna walk around without a mask on. I don't care. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then you have other people who are like, stay inside, don't go outside. Kind of the other extreme. So yeah, it's so you definitely just do need to be mindful of that, especially when you have a baby and when your wife is pregnant. Yeah, it's definitely good to take the safe.
Take the high road, and it's real. I've worked with it personally,
right?
In the hospital. So I know it's not some liberal or some media drawn action stuff. I've seen it. Unless I just saw one violent cold. Unless it was just one violent cold and they just called it the cold, but now they're calling it, I don't know. I believe in it and I'm staying away from it. If I was offered free tickets to the Stanley Cup final Game 7, I ain't going.
Oh no, definitely not. Like even if you don't see it in like your day-to-day life, I mean, like we've been seeing these numbers come out of Florida, come out of California, Texas, Arizona, just like ridiculous numbers, like so many new cases.
Yeah.
And the deaths are still climbing. We're talking well over 100,000. Actually, might be over 120,000 now deaths. It's like, so like, what do you think that is? Like, do you think that that's just
fake
made
numbers?
up? Like, like people are getting it and people are dying. Like it might not be your neighbor who's getting it. Like it might not be any of your family members.
Yeah.
But it's a thing. Like,
it's a thing.
If we don't have a vaccine, there's a good chance, we're going to get another spike here. Even though the numbers have looked good here, if you don't have a vaccine, it's really just a matter of time. So, but yeah, I guess trying to get back to that prior point about schools and stuff. I'm starting on-campus seminary classes. We'll be moving out to Louisville, Kentucky, as I mentioned before. And I'll be starting seminary there on campus. And my seminary did announce that, kind of similar to what you were saying, kind of like a mixture of on campus and also remote learning. So yeah, certain days you'll be on campus. And then certain days they'll be working from home.
Now, how is that move going to happen? Is everything just status quo just because of the COVID doesn't change any of that? Like, you guys aren't worried to move, everything's all set up and everything?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's just going to kind of be, normal as far as we know.
Right.
It's we're going to have to get some people to come and help us.
Yep.
Pack stuff up and whatnot. So it's kind of a risk you're taking. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't really have a choice. So yeah, I mean, we're planning to make the move probably in about a month. August 11th is the goal. So we're gonna do it, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. It'll be pretty crazy with a newborn, but
it will be, won't it?
Yeah. But yeah, it's exciting at the same time to kind of, I've been looking forward to doing seminary for a while, and I've started doing it online in the summer, but being able to be on campus a little bit, even though I won't be able to be doing it full time, is
right.
Pretty exciting. So yeah, let's go ahead and transition to sports. So there's a lot going on in the sports world, especially related to COVID right now. I saw the news that as far as college sports in the fall, the Ivy League teams, so like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Pennsylvania, those schools, they all say they're not going to do any sports whatsoever in the fall. And then the Big Ten and the Pac-12, two of the big Power 5 conferences, say that they're only going to play interconference. And then, we saw news that Stanford, which is one of the biggest sports schools in the country as far as like sheer number of varsity sports that they do every year, said that they would be cutting 11 sports for the year. Which we're talking over 200 students who won't be able to just play those sports.
And that equals scholarships. That's 200, 200 students, scholarships gone. Yeah.
We're just starting to see the dominoes fall here to the point where, and I'll link a piece I read from Sports Illustrated from Pat Forty, who, the question is whether or not there's going to be a college football season at all.
Well, aren't they due to return to mandatory workouts next week? Like if everything was normal. So like
I think so, yeah.
It's upon us. It's college football season might be in jeopardy here. Or like clearly Ivy Leagues are out, but do they just do a smaller schedule and just keep it within the division and no more outer division schedules, right? I don't know.
That's a good question. I know, for instance, Ohio State, which obviously has one of the biggest football programs, they had to shut down their facilities due to players getting COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read the 40 piece, it seems like the most likely, the best case scenario at this point is they'll push all the fall sports to the spring and hope that things get better by the spring. But if not, then there's just not going to be any season whatsoever, which would be just detrimental to the schools and to college sports in general. Just how much revenue would be lost if they lost the whole season. It's unbelievable to think about.
So, isn't it ironic that I believe it was this past month or a month and a half ago, that the NCAA finally agreed to pay their athletes.
Right.
Like there was some sort of agreement to pay their athletes, and there might not be no athletes to pay. It's just like it's like they knew that, I don't know, I shouldn't say this. They knew that there's maybe no sport, so let's just say let's look good in the eyes of the public. It's ironic. It's ironic that they're gonna finally they reached an agreement on paying their athletes, and now bam, COVID. Bang.
Yeah. So not looking good. Not looking good for college sports. And then we saw the NBA training camps open up this week. They're in Walt Disney World in the bubble there, which, as we mentioned, Florida is a COVID petri dish right now. So it's I mean, there's been a lot of players. I know Damian Lillard, Joel Embiid, both, expressed concerns about, hey, how are you going to keep all these players to follow all the rules? Yeah. Because if just one player, just a couple players breaks the rules and then get it, that can kind of throw the whole thing in jeopardy.
Well, the Suns, the Clippers, and was it the Magic or was it the Wizards? The Phoenix Suns, the Los Angeles Clippers, and a third team shut down practice today. They didn't practice. They didn't practice COVID related because of what's going on again. So I don't know if something got in their little inner circle, or they're overall concerned about their players' health. But they did. The three teams today shut down their practice / their training camp that's going on. Yeah. So. Yeah.
It's and then even the commissioner, Adam Silver, said, hey, this might not work out. Like, we might not be able to do this. We might not be able to pull this off.
Which is pretty big. That's big news. I didn't hear that. Big news.
Yeah. So, anyway, I don't think he was saying anything definitively there, but, it is, a realization that they're just kind of taking it really slowly at this point. And I mean, we've seen with the Major League Soccer tournament happening in Orlando, we've had 2 teams out of that drop out due to COVID. We've had, I was excited to wear my Toronto FC jersey today in honor of their first game in the MLS's back tournament, and then to learn this morning that it's postponed.
I thought I had.
Due to a player on DC United getting COVID and one player on Toronto FC, which they say is inconclusive. Yeah. Whether or not he has it, so they just decided to postpone the match. But yeah, Sporting Kansas City, who is supposed to be playing tonight. I assume they're playing tonight, but they had players as well, or at least one player get tested positive.
The game was at 8. Did they not play it?
A couple days ago. I don't know. I think they just went ahead and did play it, because I think it was a few days ago when the guy did get tested. Because once one player gets tested, everybody else has to get retested, and that's why they postponed the Toronto FC game. But I mean, I think they're still confident that they can, finish the tournament, do the tournament. But like, man, this thing just got started, and we already have all this going on.
It seems like it just, well, one, as we've mentioned this multiple times, that's not the spot to be doing Major League Sports, bringing in a bunch of athletes as a hub city or a hub spot for soccer, basketball, baseball. I know they're not hub, but they're still going to have they're going to have 2 teams based out of Florida. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a lot of sports. North American sports could hinge off the state of Florida, which is pretty crazy to think.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a pretty good idea. A couple months ago.
Yeah.
But, since then, so much has changed. Yeah, it's really, really a tough spot. But anyway, thinking about what's looking a little more promising is the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Started here. They gave the go-ahead to begin Phase 3 tomorrow.
Yep.
Which is training camps. Basically, same rules as your normal training camp that you would get right before the season starts. The teams can start working out together, practicing together. Coaching staff and players can start communicating as such. And I think something that is really good for the NHL is they're going to be in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to have to mess with all these U.S. states that are hotbeds right now, and they can just be in Edmonton and Toronto and yeah.
And good thing with the Leafs. Did you see what Dubas? Did you read what Dubas said today?
No.
He had a lot of stuff going on with the Leafs and everything, but he came out and said Austin Matthews is ready to go and he's fine and a healthy guy and he's good to go. So
wow, yeah,
COVID free, or does that mean he's reporting to camp tomorrow, or does that mean he's season ready? I don't know, but they definitely did. Dubas came out and said he's good to go though. He has no doubts about Austin Matthews. So regardless if it means tomorrow or if it means for August 1st, that's good news for all Leaf fans.
Oh yeah, that's really good news, and hopefully it means that he's COVID free.
Yep.
I would think he probably is if they're going to have him skating again with the team.
That's right. Or was he asymptomatic and now he's quarantined, done whatever, and he's COVID free now, which would be perfect. And that would be the best of all worlds if he was asymptomatic, didn't show any symptoms, so then you don't have to worry about his cardio, his smell, and all the stuff that goes with it. If he's going to get it, I guess that'd be the best case for him. But it sounds like he's good to go, which is can't beat that. That's good news finally.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So anyway, so let's pray that things continue to go smoothly for the NHL. They're looking to get started in August. So training camps starting tomorrow, and hopefully real hockey can begin in August. So hopefully that'll come to fruition. Just had one thought for you, one question.
Mm-hmm.
As I've been watching soccer, a lot of soccer lately. And I did catch a little bit of a MLS game last night. It was on Fox, and they had the fake crowd noise.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I didn't think I liked it. I wanted to hear the players in their camaraderie. I wanted to hear them go back and forth. But I watched the first game, Orlando FC versus Inter Miami. That was the first real North American live team sporting event since March 8th or 13th or whatever it was. So I watched that. They didn't pump in sound for that. And it literally felt like I was watching a filmed game from my own backyard soccer. Not because of the quality of the game, but it just because you could hear them running and kick. You just heard them kicking the ball. You didn't hear much talking. So I didn't get to hear the pump in noise, but I do think watching one without, I would rather hear some pumped in noise just because it just didn't sound right.
Yeah, I think the issue I had because NBC SN, who shows the Premier League games down here, they've been doing the piped in crowd noise, and you can also if you don't want the crowd noise, you can also
Oh, really?
go to their website. Yeah, you can go to their website and watch a stream without the crowd noise as well. So they have an option there to do that. But I've actually liked how they do it. I just think they've just done a good job with the crowd noise where it doesn't sound like it's like overpowering.
Yeah.
That was an issue where I had watching the game on Fox, was it just sounded like they had the crowd noise so loud, like you could barely hear the guys calling the play.
They went into FIFA and went into settings and sounds and turned up crowd noise max and commentators down.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was just too much. But I like the way that it's been done with NBCSN. But yeah, I remember watching a Serie A game way back, months ago, kind of before they got shut down due to COVID. Even though the whole country of Italy was shut down, they were still playing soccer.
They were,
but they were playing without fans. So I did watch a game without fans, and there was no crowd noise. And yeah, it is like it's a kind of eerie, but it's also cool at the same time. I mean, with Serie A, you can't really understand what the players are saying and what the coaches are saying, but it's cool. But it's cool just kind of hearing them, talk to each other on the field and just banter back and forth with opponents and stuff.
That's what I'm hoping they do with like hockey and basketball, because it's a smaller court or rink they're playing on versus a soccer field.
Right.
So it's more, especially for a hockey rink, like playing in the Scotiabank Arena or playing in the Roger Place in Edmonton or Toronto. You're going to have, you got the glass to keep the sound in.
Yeah.
And it's going to be here. It's going to be cool to hear players chirping each other, players going back and forth. I think that'll be interesting to hear, because with soccer, there's not so much. I would say, just playing soccer myself, there's not so much chirping versus there is talking with your other players of strategy and it's getting open, and that's more of what you hear for soccer versus the opposite for hockey and basketball.
Yeah, and if they do, have that for both hockey and basketball, they would really have to, you'd have to have somebody, making sure they don't pick up the profanity. You're
going to have a 10-second delay or something.
Yeah, 10-second delay, something like that.
Yeah, because you're right. There will be. They're adults, and you definitely have I don't want to say there's the typical hockey player, but there's your typical hockey language, and it can be nasty sometimes. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So they would definitely have to watch that. But yeah, I agree. I think that would be a really interesting thing. Do you remember back, like a few years back, when they were still showing CFL games on the CBC? And just to like try something new, they did it without play callers, and they just did like the crowd noise.
Oh, I don't remember.
So it was an interesting thing. It was still kind of, I don't think it really caught on. I think it's important to have play callers.
Well,
but it is also kind of cool just, getting to hear the actual sounds of, the people playing more.
The CFL, the last two seasons, at least definitely the last season. So last summer, because the Canadian Football League, they go from, when do they start? July 1st-ish to December. Their season usually runs then, but the last July 1st, I'll say, in between that season, they were doing every Friday night. TSN here in Canada would do live mic games. So there was players were live mic. There were certain players that were live mic, and it's not like, let's check in what Tom Brady said to Julian Edelman on the bench. It's more like you hear Ricky Ray calling single callers, calling the play live on the game. It was that was cool. Yeah, it was cool to watch that. It wasn't, and you didn't. Now maybe they had the 10-second delay, but I don't remember much. I only caught a couple of them, and I didn't hear anything that would. Oh wow, my kid shouldn't have heard that, for example.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that they've played around with that definitely last year for sure. It was cool. Friday night live night games. It was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think they're always looking for new things to do with the CFL to try to get more people interested in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a cool little thing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do that with broadcasting the games for the NHL. I know they did release the broadcast schedule the other day. I haven't taken a look at it though.
For hockey.
Yeah.
Did they?
So I assume it'll be pretty standard stuff. A lot of Sportsnet and Canada and
yeah, it's one or the other. Sports Center, TSN,
NBCSN, and down here probably. So yeah. Anyway, that's exciting. Well, to hopefully we'll get to watch some NHL here.
That's right.
Less than a month.
August 1st. I have more faith that August 1st will come around and there'll be hockey. Then there will be July 30th. There'll be basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
Even though you got Tampa and Florida practicing in Tampa and Florida, like you got the Panthers playing in Sunrise and Tampa Bay playing in Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. They'll be doing phase 3 down there. They've got till what, July 28th? Yeah, July 13th to July 28th is phase 3. July 28th, they all travel to their hub city, so Toronto, for those two teams. So they have about 2 weeks. 2 weeks to stay to keep it going. Within that 2 weeks, if we can get everything by July 28th and everything is pretty good for those two teams, and then plus every other state does have it, so they got to be careful too. But that's the only scary part I can think of, that we're inviting 2 teams from the state of Florida to the north of the border.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and hopefully they follow the rules to the T, dot their I's, cross their T's, and we get to drop the puck August 1st.
Yeah, and there will be a lot of testing as well done for those players to make, and for everybody traveling with the team, to make sure they're not bringing it into any of the hub cities. So, yeah, I mean, they've got a good plan in place. I'll post an article I was reading. I haven't even read the whole thing, but it's on pensionplanpuppets.com, and it just goes through the whole kind of plan for phase 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And what happens if people get test positive, and so and so forth. So it's good to know that there's a plan, and yeah, I'm definitely more confident with them playing games in Canada than
for once
any of the other sports.
The NHL could be they could be onto things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll watch that for sure. So just wanted to talk a little bit about the Premier League.
Yep.
Our boys, Nick, the Blues.
Yeah.
Had a tough game against Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Falling 3-0.
Yeah, not good.
Actually, a pretty good Sheffield team this year, but
not
good
enough.
Time, not Champions League level.
No,
by any means.
Not when you're in a dogs fight with 6 games left now? 6 games left to fight for the final finish?
Yeah, it's coming down to the wire, and it's we've got quite a dogfight for Champions League spots. Chelsea is currently in 3rd spot.
Yeah.
Leicester is only 1 point behind Chelsea, and then Man United is only 1 point behind Leicester.
Yeah.
So Man United plays tomorrow. They play Southampton. So with a win against Southampton, they would leapfrog Chelsea.
Do they have the game in hand? They have one. Yeah, because they played Tuesday, but they must have not played again. They only played one this past week, didn't they? Man U, I believe so. But yeah.
Yeah, so they do have a game in hand. But what is good for Chelsea? They did catch a break as Leicester lost to Bournemouth 4-1.
Yeah, which is another tough loss.
They got shocked. So I mean, things are looking good for Man United here with a game in hand.
You just got to finish.
Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea's got Norwich on Tuesday.
Yeah.
It should be a pretty easy win, but at the same time,
so should have
like nothing is an easy win.
That's right.
For anybody really right now. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And then Leicester has Sheffield on Thursday.
Right.
So, I mean, that's not a walk in the park for Leicester.
No.
Man U's got Crystal Palace. So
okay.
yeah, I mean, right now it's looking like Man U is probably the favorite to
keep one of the spots.
The third spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, Chelsea's really going to have to, on paper, they should hold on to that fourth spot.
Well, it's up to them, right? Matt says if they win out there, they keep it.
That's right.
They keep the fourth spot. Leicester loses out because if everyone wins out, Leicester's the odd man out.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, on paper they should finish ahead of Leicester, but I mean, you just never know with the way Chelsea's been playing.
We were talking about this last week with the with all the transfers Chelsea has coming in. It would be awesome to see Chelsea secure that spot.
Yeah.
Because it would be fun to see these guys play in the Champions League.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As the 4th seed, but still, it would be once you're in, seeded and kind of thrown to the side as you jump through all the other leagues together. But it's cool it'd be cool to have the Blues in, and and to see what kind of damage they can do.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I tell you, I mean right now they've been working really hard with their transfers as far as offensive players.
Yeah.
But defensively, I mean, this team is horrid right now defensively.
Yeah.
From their back four to their goalkeeper, they really need some help back there. I mean, and all these great offensive talents, like that's great. But I mean, you're gonna try to win every game 6-5 or something, If that's the case, if they don't add some defensive help,
you're asking for early exit.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about competing in Champions League against the Bayern Munichs and the Barcelonas and Real Madrids and
you're not putting a 6th spot. You're not putting a 6th spot against Alphonso Davies, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The ultimate back.
Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking of Champions League, they did come out with the Champions League draw for the remainder of this Champions League season, which is going to get started in August.
Mm-hmm.
I believe August 8th. And so you got the second leg of Chelsea and Bayern Munich, which Chelsea lost the first one 3-0, so they don't really have a chance of beating the German giants, I don't think.
No.
But yeah, I mean, you've got some pretty interesting matchups there. You got a potential Barcelona-Bayern Munich quarterfinal matchup.
That'd be interesting. That'd be fun. Okay.
It would be, yeah. If they both get out of their round of 16 ones. Barcelona drew at I'm not sure where they played, but they drew Napoli 1-1 in their first leg.
Who's got the advantage? I wonder who the home game was. I didn't look that up. That'd be interesting to see. Who's got the advantage?
Look that up, actually.
But it would be interesting to see Barcelona versus Bayern, even though being a Blues fan. Once again, I know I'm a diehard Alphonso Davies. I think I talk about every episode, but he would be fun to see him against Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barca.
Oh, definitely. So I'm on ESPN.com, and I do see an article that just came out that says that the players for DC United and Toronto FC, it says that their follow-up test came back negative.
Oh, good.
So yeah, that's
good for the human side of them, and great for the human side and good for the sports side.
yes,
Right?
yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll see when they end up playing that match.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely good news. So yeah, so we got Bayern. Let's see, Napoli. Yeah, I don't think this post says who's going to be playing at home and who's not.
Right.
But it's interesting because it's a German side, RB Leipzig, facing Atletico Madrid in one of the quarterfinals, and then Paris Saint-Germain and Atalanta, which is a team from Serie A.
Mm-hmm.
They're facing each other in the other quarterfinals. So, if things go, as planned.
Yeah, that's right.
It looks like it's going to be Paris Saint-Germain and Atletico in one of the semifinals, and then you've got you've got Barcelona potentially facing Bayern in a semifinal. In a quarterfinal.
Right.
And then the winner of that would face either the winner of Real Madrid and Manchester City.
Yeah.
Which I believe Man City won the first leg 2-0. So they're going back to Manchester for the second leg.
Yeah. There you go.
They're in pretty good shape against Real Madrid. But then Man City would play the winner between Lyon and Juventus, and Juventus lost that first one, 1-0.
It's crazy, eh? They're even a powerhouse themselves.
They are. I mean, so you can never really count out Juve because they've got Cristiano Ronaldo, Paulo, Dybala. They're a powerhouse for sure. So. But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see, Man City against potentially Juve.
Yep. Wouldn't that be a fun match? That'd be a cool match to watch. Ronaldo versus his old team, I guess.
That would be Manchester United.
Oh, right. Man U. Yeah, not Man City. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
And then so. Yeah, and then the winner of that, whoever got out of that, would then play either Bayern or Barcelona if Bayern and Barcelona end up coming out of the round of 16. So it looks like it's going to be a lot more difficult on that half.
That bracket.
Also what's interesting is they're going to finish the second leg of the round of 16, but then the rest of the way, it's just going to be one leg.
Right.
Each round. So quarterfinal, just one game. Semifinal, just one game. The final, of course, just one game. So
which is huge.
It is, yeah. So you're gonna, it's gonna be either you.
Well, you've most recently in the last 2 years, you've seen Barca come back on the second leg and they were trailing big time and they made a big comeback on the second leg. You saw Man U made a big against the same team actually, both of them. Barca stormed back and won the second leg, and then Man U had to do the same thing a year later or the year before against the same team. The same team collapsed twice in the second leg. But yeah, the second leg is there for that's the coolest thing about football, about watching soccer. It was how they used the second leg. I like it. I like how they do that.
Yeah, definitely. So it'll be Yeah, it'll definitely be different. You know, you'll just have one shot basically to get her done.
Yeah.
And also, in a interesting thing for Manchester City is tomorrow they learn if they're going to be able to play Champions League next year, because right now they're banned.
Yeah, that's right.
From playing Champions League next year, but they did appeal the decision, and apparently news of whether or not they were successful with that appeal is going to come out tomorrow. So Man City could be playing, you know, for this could be their last shot to do something in Champions League for a whole year if they get kicked out.
Well, really,
of next year's tournament.
A whole year, but then you got to wait till the following May again. On top of that, after August is your final. August, September is your final, right? Normally.
Normally they would finish everything up in May.
Right. Oh, right.
So,
I've got the calendar. I've got it backwards. I've got it flipped. That's right. Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, because I saw that they're planning to start the Premier League season August 8th.
Right.
So they're basically not having any off season whatsoever.
No,
so
and that's starting on time or time-ish. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just as normal. So I'll be interested to see when they're going to open Champions League.
Right.
But yeah, so things are getting very interesting in the Premier League, and with also what's interesting is we have the FA Cup coming up this weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
So we got Chelsea and Manchester United, and then we got Arsenal and Man City. So Arsenal, Man City playing on Saturday at 2:45. Manchester United and Chelsea playing on Sunday at 1 o'clock. So that's pretty big, you know. The FA Cup is a historic trophy. It just has a storied history, and you've got some pretty big teams there in the semifinals. So, again, like we were talking about Manchester City, with if they're banned from Champions League, this could be, you know, one of their few chances of winning a trophy here.
Yeah.
In the FA Cup. So
you're right. The league title's clearly out of reach.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You got you're gonna have a tough draw. You have a tough bracket to get to the Champions League. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's for sure. And one other thing that I'm pretty stoked about coming up this week is NBC is releasing their streaming service on Wednesday.
Wow.
Peacock, Peacock TV. And I'm not sure if it's only in the States or if it's in Canada or not. Probably only in the States. Yeah. But right now you can get a deal on it where it's $30 for a whole year, and you get basically all the Premier League games next season.
Nice.
So they'll be airing all the Premier League games. I mean, you get a lot of other stuff like shows and movies and stuff off it, but right now they're doing a deal where you get it for a year for $30.
You can't beat that.
Beat that. And I'm doing it so I ordered it, you know, once I heard about it. So I'm looking forward to be able to watch some Premier League next season. So yeah, check that out if you're in the States. It's a really awesome deal, and that deal is only going to be here until Tuesday, because they're going to release the streaming service on Wednesday, and kind of as a celebration of it, they do have a free version as well. With the free version, you don't get any extra sports,
right?
But they are, as kind of a celebration of it opening, they're going to show all the Premier League games on Wednesday. I think there's 4 games going on Wednesday, or 4 or 5 actually. 3 of them all happen at the same time, but they're going to make all those games open for free for anybody on Wednesday. So even if you're not planning to pay for it, you'll be able to watch many Premier League games. And without ads as well on
That's fun.
on Peacock. Yeah, Peacock.tv. I think that's the URL on Wednesday. So pretty
Nice.
psyched about that.
Yeah, sweet.
All right, Nick. Anything? I guess you got a chipmunk carcass to clean up.
Yeah. Oh, nasty. Kids, don't let your chipmunks in the house.
No.
Or get a cat.
Yeah.
Buy
right.
a cat. Call your local pet save. Buy a cat.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping I had a cat when we had that mouse
Yeah.
at our place, because I was trying to get my dog to go after it, but my dog would just like stare at it and just like watch it go back and forth.
I had to, like I told at the start, that I had Finley in there, and Finley was running around and trying to help, but more or less was just actually making it worse, because I'm chasing it, Finley's chasing it, and it's running away from us. If I could just let it sit still, corner it for a bit. I had a towel and I had a bucket. My goal was to throw the towel over top the bucket, flip it all together, and let it loose in the wild. Unfortunately, he walked himself into a corner, and kids, it didn't come out. But well, he's still. I shouldn't lie. He's there.
Yeah. R.I.P. Chipmunk.
That's right.
Yeah, we hardly even knew you.
That's right. It wasn't Elvin. It wasn't Elvin, guys. Elvin's good.
Yeah.
Elvin that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, remember we are. You can find us on your favorite podcast app, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, lots of stuff. Overcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Subscribe. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, subscribe and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That's always helpful.
No, it's good.
Yeah, it helps people find the podcast. So yeah,
That's right.
So go ahead and do that. Subscribe, like, share, whatever you do. Tell your friends about us.
Tell you're expecting your parent, you're expecting buddy. Your buddy's expecting to have a kid, or has a kid. Send them for a listen.
That's right. And if they like sports too, that's a bonus.
That's right.
So it's good, even if they don't like sports, they can just listen to the first half and not listen to the second half. It's all right.
Just turn it off at the 26-minute mark and see you later.
Yeah, but just listen to the advertisement. That's in between first.
That's right.
Listen to the father part, then listen to the advertisement, and then
shout out to them. Shout out to
Anchor. And
Anchor.
Anchor made it super easy to make a podcast, and really easy to distribute it.
Yep.
And check out Anchor, because it was, if you've ever wanted to make a podcast and you've wondered, hey, how do I do that? How do I make a podcast? Anchor makes it super easy. So yeah, just go to anchor.fm and they'll make all of your wildest dreams come true. Maybe not all your wildest dreams, but your podcast dreams.
That's what Disney's for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for listening, and take care, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.